You are watching DHTV from California State University, Dominguez Hills.
Welcome to this orientation video for those of you who plan to participate in Leadership and Creative Expression 2020, the experiential webs we weave. This is a group relations application event to be held here on the campus of Cal State Dominguez Hills, February 28th, 29th, and March 1st. I'm Dr. Tara Victor, Professor of Psychology here at Dominguez, and along with my friend and colleague Jim Cavill in the Art and Design Department, we're the co-developers of this program. If you haven't done so already, please visit our website to learn more. This is also where you'll find more information about our community partner, GREX, the West Coast affiliate of the A.K. Rice Institute for the Study of Social Systems, or ACRI. ACRI has in fact decided to support this event as an incubator initiative in the application or exploration of group relations. This unique event has many interconnected parts. It wouldn't be surprising for someone to describe it as an arts festival of sorts, consistent with the long-standing vision of the College of Arts and Humanities here at Dominguez. And it was in fact inspired by a really cool coalition of the arts that I visited last year in Cuba called Fabrica de Arte. And again, if you're interested, there's a link from our website to theirs. It also remains a rigorous, intersubjective experiential study of leadership and group dynamics, which has been the program's focus since its conception in 2016. Group relations conferences have a long-standing history and typically offer experiences or opportunities for what we call here and now, or in real time, experiential learning in the context of small and large study groups, as well as opportunities for groups to self-organize. And all of this serving as a microcosm for studying how larger systems work. These are arguably the social and behavioral analog laboratory experiences of those typically seen in the natural sciences, such as physics or biology. And just like a biologist might study a particular antibody in an experimental design, so too can we learn by analyzing the data of our intersubjective experiences in groups and organizations that we temporarily construct for the purpose of such examination, especially if we want to look at both the conscious, explicit, as well as the unconscious, implicit dynamics of the systems we co-create. It's really a rare opportunity. The difference in this year's event compared to the full-length group relations conferences of 2016, 18, and 19 is that we're really zooming in on the way groups organize themselves and then relate to one another in the process. That is, we're zooming in on intergroup dynamics, how and why groups form, the way individuals within groups relate as they form and perform, but also the way groups relate to other groups, and what those groups might be expressing on behalf of the whole event, as if the event was a microcosm of the larger world in which we live and breathe, and may I say, weave. What's cool is that many of you and the groups to which you belong have authorized yourselves to send in proposals to participate, and you are therefore the authors of this event. That's the invitation to author the space, and then to reflect upon what we've co-created together from the perspective of group relations theory and practice. So we intentionally didn't start with a picture in our minds of what the weekend would look like exactly. We've instead provided a number of figurative and literal blank canvases and then invited the community to help us fill them in. By way of orientation to this year's event, I want to point out that the themes we are exploring are leadership, authority, responsibility, and freedom of expression in what is arguably an intense era of political, social, and economic disruption. Perhaps there'll be patterns that we start to see in this microcosm of the larger world, this microcosm of the larger culture we are co-creating on this planet. We hope that by being both participants and observers of emerging intergroup dynamics, we might start to perceive new possibilities or see the world we inhabit in new ways. We are also exploring the role of creative expression to help us illuminate some of these intergroup dynamics. Whether it's by hearing voices in harmony, or the dynamic beat of communal drumming, or watching a flock of birds in flight, these metaphors from the arts and the natural world might help illuminate some of the challenges and opportunities inherent in community organizing in the real world, perhaps revealing patterns often occurring outside our conscious awareness or conscious control. Watch this flock of birds, for example. Look at the overall pattern and then contrast that to what you imagine the experience of any one particular bird might be in this flock, in this group. It's very different, right? What an interesting way to augment our study of leadership and followership, in addition to, not in replacement of, our words or other forms of verbal expression, which there'll be also ample opportunity for as well. And what an interesting way, too, to learn about the perceptual skill required to see what we call group as a whole phenomenon, or the idea that the group has a life of its own that's not reducible to the sum of its individual parts. So like this flock of birds, or the dynamic emergent patterns of the ocean, or like the underground giant colonies of mycelia that form a communication and nutritional lifeline for what looks like the subjective experience of individual trees in the forest on the surface level. Speaking of subjectivity, nothing can be more deeply subjective than our experience of history. On Friday at 1 o'clock, we will begin this event with a review of Teachers College 400 Years Timeline of Social Movements in Ballroom B of the Locher Student Union. At 2 o'clock in Ballroom C, we will formally welcome everyone and have our keynote address by Dr. Yesenia Fernandez, Assistant Professor in the Department of Education, on the importance of systems thinking and community organizing. Following this, there'll be an interwoven set of experiences throughout the weekend. Some of these performances, activities, or experiences will be more prepared, others more improvisational. We invite you to come and explore and create in the here and now of this living laboratory of intergroup experience around the themes of leadership, authority, responsibility, and freedom of expression. Discovering hidden patterns is both an art and a science. On Saturday, we'll be hosting a formal group relations workshop on intergroup dynamics from 9 to 6 p.m., directed by Reverend Dr. Jaime Romo. This will be an introduction to the more formal group relations conference experiences that usually last for 3 days or more. We encourage performers and presenters to attend this workshop, as well as workshop attendees to attend the creative events. Student tickets have sold out for this Saturday workshop, but you can still join the wait list in case space becomes available. There's a link to the Eventbrite registration portal from our website. On Sunday, we're going to step back and look at what has emerged in the previous 2 days, and we'll at least try to begin to understand what the community has expressed and collectively created and how it might relate to our real-world contexts. And we'll do this complex layered work together. Before I end, I want to say a little bit about the subtitle of this year's event, the experiential webs we weave. This refers to what we collectively co-create over the course of the weekend. There are the more visible threads that experientially connect individuals and groups, for example, a shared appreciation of music. And then there are those that may at first seem unconnected. For example, the connection between our experience on Friday and Saturday and the individual and collective dreams we bring into the social dreaming matrix on Sunday. In fact, like a dream catcher, with its handmade willow hoop on which a net or web is woven, this event is envisioned as one designed to capture previously seen or unrealized connections within and between individuals and groups. So in this field of dreams, where we're all planting the seeds of our experience, we're curious about who will show up and what they'll bring to the exploration, and how we might make sense of it from the perspective of not just seeing individuals, but also the groups themselves. So on behalf of the event management team, we look forward to learning, leading, creating, and meaning making right alongside of you. See you there.